swear it. I swear it on my finest plastic spork. You have a point. And the spork is a wonderful invention. I can't imagine my life without sporks. Sporks are so amazing. They are both a fork and a spoon. If we never had sporks, I couldn't imagine a world that we live in. It would be a dystopian future. Would you like another caviar lunch? Absolutely! February 23rd, 9:34 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. How did the investigation go yesterday, Mr. Wright? Frankly, there are still a lot of gray areas. Or rather, the whole thing is one big gray area. Don't worry about me, no matter what the outcome. Are you hiding your hand on purpose? I'm ready to accept my fate. I believe in you, sis! Mr. Wright, let me offer you a word of advice. Yes? A defense attorney should never believe their clients. The defendant is called to trial because they are suspected of wrongdoing. Never forget that. Miss Sky, you remind me a lot of Mia. But there is one decisive difference between you and her, and that is that you're alive and she's dead. You're not a defense attorney. Oh, that too. I believe it's almost time for the trial. Good luck, Miss Wright. My first trial without Faye helping me. Without a Faye helping me. No one's going to bail me out this time. Hi, Mia. I'll be alone in there. I have to discover the truth all by myself. Let's do it, right, Mr. Wright? I'll be with you the whole way. February 23rd, 10 a.m., District Court, Courtroom Number 9. Oh, good to see you back behind the stand, Edgeworth. Court is now in session for the trial, Mr. Lana Sky. Miss Lana Sky, not Mr. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. Edgeworth. It's been 2 months, but I haven't been in a courtroom since this trial. I hope that personal feelings will not be part of the proceedings today, Mr. Wright. I will choose the path I think is right, regardless of what those around me might say. The judgment to be made here is in our hands, not those of anyone else. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth, your opening statement, please. Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky has committed unpardonable crime. Not only this, but she was rash enough to commit it on the prosecutor's parking lot. Wow, he's much more forceful in person. I suddenly feel like confessing to everything. However, she will not pay for her rashness with her life. There was a witness to her crime. Professional witness. A professional witness? Well then, call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution calls its first witness, Miss Angel Starr, to the stand. The cough-up queen. Oh, hello, Onigigri lady. Haven't I seen you somewhere? What the frick? Caviar! You ordered the caviar lunch, right? Ho ho! Caviar! Never eaten caviar before. Judge is really wolfing it down. And for you, I have a fiesta bowl. Huh? Thanks. Will the witness state her name and profession? And you, sir? Did you order the fingerprint lunchbox? It is too early for lunch. Your name and profession, please. I eat on a tight schedule. Can't be any before lunchtime or any after. Well, Your Honor, how does it taste? So this is why everyone raves about caviar. It's so tasty it hurts. I always thought caviar would taste like pickled tapioca. What? What the heck does pickled tapioca taste like? Name, profession. Now! Me. The name is Angel Star. Don't go forgetting it. I find myself running Lunchland these days. Is that what you wanted me to say, Mr. Edgeworth?
Very well, witness. Please describe the incident to us. The prosecution will wait. I'm not finished eating. We're taking a 5-minute recess already so I can finish my caviar.
Hurry it up.
Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. As you know, we usually call on the police to provide a description of the crime.
Your Honor, as Mr. Edgeworth has said to the court, I am a professional.
Huh? What exactly does that mean?
The judge is so goofy, yeah.
Until 2 years ago, Miss Angel Star was a special investigator with the police. She was a first-rate homicide detective.
What? Miss Star was a detective?
I know who you are! Cough up!
Cough up, Queen Angel Star, Your Honor. Long time no see.
Very well! You may continue with the description, Miss Star.
Just who is this lady?
Some lady from 2 years ago that likes wearing onigiri for some reason.
If I might have the court's attention over here. The parking lot at the prosecutor's office is divided into 2 blocks. A block is for the prosecutor's office personnel. B block is for the visitors and clients. The chain divider separates the 2 blocks. I
suppose that's to keep visitors from taking up prosecutor's spaces, yes?
The crime took place by a car in the back of A block in the car's trunk. The killer stabbed the victim with his knife and went to drive the body out. Unfortunately for her, there was a witness and an arrest was made on the spot.
And who was this valiant witness?
Why, it was me, Your Honor.
Parking lot floor plans added to the court record. Witness, did you see the very moment of the crime?
Of course, Your Honor. Immediately after that, I apprehended the chief prosecutor.
It seems rather cut and dry, doesn't it? Well, Mr. Wright?
I can't agree on principle, Your Honor. It seems that poor losers are unwilling to accept the truth, Your Honor. Shall I proceed to crush what little hope they have remaining?
If you can, then give them your worst, Miss Star.
Wait, are they talking about me?
Witness's account.
Somehow, I always knew a day like this would come. I was on my way to deliver a lunchbox to my boyfriend when I sensed something. Perhaps it was my finally home detective's intuition at work. Through the wire fence, I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to a garish car. The chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Then she thrust the pointed tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest.
What other part would she thrust into his chest? Bringing the lunchbox to your boyfriend. How touching! As you can see, there is no room for doubt. The key point of your testimony seems to be nothing other than the point of the knife which you saw being stabbed into Detective Goodman.
So, how does it feel to be so utterly crushed?
I'm still thinking about that.
It's merely a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. You still have 2 arms and a leg.
Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness. Witness's account.
Somehow, I always knew this day would come.
How did you know?
I was brought the prosecutor's basic adherence crime. Yet their methods are ugly and twisted. Twisted methods will always lead to tragedy.
Lunchley's uninformed opinion is duly noted.
Given that they're used to embracing inconvenient evidence at their whim. Killing off a detective that knew too much is merely an extension of that. Miss Starr, do you have something personal against prosecutors? I felt that I found my dream job when I became an investigator. And if I hadn't been laid off by those prosecutors over there, I'd still be one.
Laid off? She was fired?
To me, prosecutors are nothing more than words. That said, I am a pro, as you know. My testimony is unbiased and flawless.
Very well. You may continue, Miss Starr.
So my way to boyfriend.
Which one? This boyfriend. He's the detective?
Not that boyfriend. The security guard. Girls gotta make a little hustle now, don't they?
That boyfriend? You have several?
Yes, this boyfriend, that boyfriend, and the other boyfriend. Care to join? The yet another boyfriend position is still open for applicants.
I'll stick with the lunches, thanks.
Note to self, the judge had to think before replying. There was hesitance in his voice. He was very much debating on being her fourth boyfriend. The security guard room is in the lodge, an A block. It's up on the second level, so you can see everything from there.
That would be the room with the security sign. Incidentally, did you bring your lunchboxes by car?
Since I'm a visitor now, I parked in B block.
So
she was in B block when she witnessed the crime. Wait, he's married? When I sensed something, perhaps it was my home detective's intuition at work.
You sensed something? So you're saying you had a premonition of the murder?
It felt like... What would you say? Oh yes. It was like the feeling you would get when you view a pumpkin chock full of seeds.
I have no idea what that means. Speaking of detective's intuition, wasn't the victim, Mr. Bruce Goodman, also a detective?
Yes, well, he was like a young cheese.
Young cheese?
A pale white cheese, not yet tangy with experience on the streets. A greenhorn.
Then I must be a hard yellowed and sharp as a tack.
Yeah, with the odor of an old cheese to match.
What is this insult?
In any case, there in the lot, I felt something stirring in the back of my mind. Through the wire fence, I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to a garish car.
By garish, you mean garish?
Mr. Edgeworth's car, yes.
Mr. Edgeworth?
Incidentally, the knife with which the victim was stabbed was also Mr. Edgeworth's. Wasn't it?
Indeed it was. What an odd case this is. The person you saw. You are sure it was the defendant?
I saw her from no further than 30 feet away. I'm certain it was her.
If she's telling the truth, we're doomed.
Let's just do what we can. Even if we don't have any proof, we can still nitpick.
Witness! In your testimony, you clearly stated the following. Prosecutors are nothing more than worms. Ergo, you are a biased witness.
You might want to keep those silly opinions to yourself in the future, Rookie.
Huh? Rookie?
Unless you're willing to risk the consequences of doubting me.
What are the consequences of doubting you?
I'll fry you like a fritter, crispy on the outside, chewy on the inside.
That was inspiring.
I believe I've heard that tagline somewhere elsewhere. You could cry plagiarism? I may be relegated to the lowly post of lunch lady, but my instincts are honed. A photograph. You took this? The moment I witnessed the crime, my reflexes took over and snap, I took a photo. In fact, one of my lunchboxes is rigged with a camera. I suppose that's more exciting than just hanging it around your neck.
Witness, why am I only seeing this photograph just now?
You think I'd show it to you, a prosecutor? Think again. My boyfriend works in the photography division of criminal affairs.
Well, this is most certainly the defendant.
Crime photo added to the court record. The moment of the crime was photographed by Angel Star. Uh-oh, this is unmistakably Lana Sky.
So what was the defendant doing at the time?
The chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand.
But there was no knife in her hand when, with the photo.
Yeah, there's no knife, and she's wearing gloves. The jacket's splattered in blood, but that's it. And the body can't be shoved into the trunk like that, yeah?
Tell me more about this knife that the suspect was carrying.
Well, I'd say the blade was about 4 inches long. It was... Is that right, Mr. Edgeworth? It is your knife, after all.
Ahem. Yes, that's about it, right.
Prosecutors are, by nature, averse to the location of a man's vital organs. I'm sure it was easier than boiling an egg for Mr. Egg's salad surprise set.
What? You can't testify to her ability to kill an egg. I mean, a person.
Perhaps chicken salad, but set would have been a better metaphor.
So the defendant was holding a knife. What then?
And then she thrust the pointy tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest.
Tell the court why you didn't try to stop this crime. You did see her raise the knife to strike, no? The defense has a point.
Unfortunately, by the time I realized what was going on, it was already too late.
Too late?
Yes, the next moment. Chief Prosecutor brought down the murder weapon.
I see.
It's only a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. You can make it.
You said that before. Anything else?
Scientifically speaking, the Star's testimony is flawless.
Sounds pretty fatal to me.
Oh, what do we do? Is this it? Is my sister guilty?
Let's just keep our heads cool and press the witness a bit, shall we? For some reason, having her panicking next to me makes me calmer.
Don't smile like that! How dare you take my panic and uncertainty to comfort your own selfish gain!
Let's try this. And you witnessed this. You saw Miss Sky stab the victim with the knife.
As I've already said, yes.
What the frick? What is that? That looks like you have... It looks like you have shampoo in that rice box.
I swear it on my finest salmon swirl lunch.
I'm sure that is a fine lunch. But, isn't that odd? Look at this photograph. This is the photograph you took at the very moment of the crime, is it not? Then why is Miss Sky not holding a knife? Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts? Objection. You didn't yell it. That had to be the weakest objection ever, Edgeworth. Yes, yet it was still stronger than your ever feeble mind, Mr. Wright. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This photograph was not taken the moment before the stabbing. This was taken the moment after the stabbing. And how can you tell that?
Blood splatter.
Huh?
See the dark crimson stains on the chief prosecutor's coat.
But it's a black and white photograph. It's hard to tell, but this could be blood. Well, Mr. Wright, I see no problem here. No problem. Except you.
Mr. Wright, are you going to just sit there and take that kind of abuse?
Got a better idea? Objection.
Wait, that contradicts what the witness said in her testimony. Namely, that she took the picture the moment she witnessed the crime. Well, it seems that was slightly unclear. My apologies. That's it? If you run out of lunch, you order seconds. Problem solved. If you don't like it, try ordering the jumbo-sized lunch that from the get-go. Good advice. I'm not sure I understood it, but good advice. I didn't have time to stop her. Prosecutor Sky was cold, calculating, like a robot. She killed without pain or remorse. It was a premeditated murder. Premeditated? How do you know? Look at the chief prosecutor's hands in that photograph. Well, are those gloves? Surgical gloves made of thin rubber, most likely. Why would she have those on? It is... If it's not... What? Why are you in front of the photo now? If it was not premeditated, she would not be wearing those gloves. Those gloves do seem to tell a tale of premeditation. Premeditated murder. A serious offense. Witness, add this to your testimony. What if she was just in the habit of wearing gloves, like driving gloves? The gloves were admitted as evidence when the defendant was arrested. They were rubber gloves of the kind used for autopsies. In other words, when the chief prosecutor came to the crime scene, she came to do murder. It's the only possible conclusion one can make. Everything was planned. It was a premeditated crime. Impressive. I'm sorry they took you off the force, Miss Starr. This is bad. She's got me thinking this is all planned. If she can prove this claim, the trial's already over. I've got to think of a way to show this wasn't premeditated. It's only a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. We can make it. We said that before. Anything else? Scientifically speaking, Miss Starr's testimony is flawless. Sounds pretty fatal to me. What do we do? Is this it? Is my sister guilty? Let's just keep our heads cool and press the witness a bit, shall we? For some reason, having her panicking, it makes me calmer. Why does it make me calmer? It was planned, then why did he bleed out? Your Honor, what do you think about the witness's statement? I'm not sure I follow. It clearly contradicts the, I thought... Oh, dang it. Objection overruled. Win me 80 points with the judge, apparently. Dang it, that's not it either. No one's gotta be that piece, right here. Nope, that's not either. I'm purely guessing because I'm not sure. And that's the... damn. What am I missing? Is it not that part? It has to be that part. Dang it, okay. Well, I get to see what happens when I die. That's enough. This court sees no reason to further prolong the trial. The defense has failed to give the court sufficient reason to doubt the prosecution's claim. The court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Sky, guilty. Of course he did. The accused will surrender to the court immediately, to be held pending trial at a higher court within a month from today's date. That is all. This court is adjourned. Where'd you come from? You weren't there before. Oh. Oh, great! I should have saved. Dang it. Well. This will take a sec. So we're gonna save so I don't have to do that again in case I mess up. Because that's annoying. Oh, it was the knife the whole time? Witness, do you know what this is? Are you trying to test me? I sell boxed lunch for a living, you know. That's knife. The knife. The knife that was in Mr. Edgeworth's trunk.
Indeed, it is my knife.
The knife the whole time.
But this case, a bloody murder weapon, a red car, all belonging to the prosecutor there.
The defendant is the chief prosecutor for the district, right?
Mommy, are prosecutors bad people?
The defense has a request. We ask that the witness provide an accurate testimony.
What's that, Rookie?
In your testimony, you stated that Lana Skye planned this murder. That's why she was wearing those special gloves. Seems like a natural conclusion to me. The gloves do indicate planning. However, why would she not also prepare the most important thing? The murder weapon.
Oh.
This knife just happened to be in the trunk of that car? Ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to plan a murder, you don't forget the weapon. Order! 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 Give me more caviar! Great. Now the tide is turning in our favor.
Great show, Mr. Wright. My sister's as good as free.
Right. I believe the next lunch you'll be eating is humble pie. What? I hope you weren't deluding yourself into thinking that the tide has turned. Not over such a trifling detail. But this shoots a hole in the whole premeditated theory. Bah. The prosecution could care less if it was premeditated or not. The only one who seems to care is that lunch lady over there. The defendant, Lana Skye, murdered a detective with the knife. That is the only thing the prosecution need prove. Nothing else.
Very good, Mr. Prosecutor. I suppose you think you're clever now. But you know as well as I do that she planned on killing him. It was planned. If it wasn't, why would she have been wearing...
I believe I'd like to hear your testimony again. Witness, please tell us only what you saw, not what you thought.
How dare you?
My powers of deduction are not to be underestimated.
Really, now?
Angel's deduction.
Lana Skye intended to murder Detective Goodman.
That's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office.
I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim.
Nothing else would drive that human machine to plunge the knife in again and again. Oh, I found the contradiction right there. I'm still gonna press, but I found the contradiction. The victim was summoned from the police department to the prosecutor's office. It does sound a lot like premeditation, doesn't it?
So, if I order a pizza, does that mean I'm planning to kill the delivery boy?
In any case, the defense may now cross-examine the witness. I know the contradiction. You said that, but you haven't told us how you know.
That's what I'm about to tell you, Rookie.
I believe that she just said that was a mere prelude to the story she's about to tell. Try not to interrupt her again.
Rookie. Never interrupt a storyteller. Like pulling a bun out of the oven half-baked.
Something's half-baked here, alright, and it's you. Try not to confuse the defense witness. They're not very quick on their feet. Now, why did you believe the suspect had intentions of murder the victim? Murder the victim? To murder the victim, sorry.
Her actions speak for themselves.
You have no proof that Miss Skye called him there.
You have no proof that she didn't.
Mr. Edgeworth's thoughts? There's no record of a call made on the defendant, Miss Lana Skye's phone.
She might have written him a letter.
Come on! You could have tried public phone first at least. In any case, the victim came to the prosecutor's office where he was murdered.
I'm sure he had a reason to be there. Witness?
Why do you think it was the suspect who summoned the victim?
Why do you think it was the suspect who summoned the victim that day?
I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim.
What kind of grudge?
Well, I wouldn't know that.
Of course you don't. That's because she didn't have a grudge.
Rookie. I have a lunchbox here. Now, what's inside?
How am I supposed to know?
See, we agree there's a lunchbox here, but we don't know what's inside. A person's life is like a lunchbox with pretzels. Don't you agree?
I get it. That's why my lunch was so salty. What? What? This is not relevant. Judge! This judge isn't very good with metaphors. The suspect had a grudge against Detective Goodman. Will you tell your bias for thinking this?
It's simple. Nothing else would drive again and again.
A human machine? That's a contradiction. Please. Can't you find fault with something of substance, Mr. Wright?
Note to self. Mr. Edgeworth's eyes smell like citrus fruit.
What? You are a stalker! What the frick? Me, Emma! You say again and again. How many times did she stab him exactly?
We often say chop into 1,000 pieces. We don't actually mean thousands of pieces. What difference does it make if the deed is done?
How come she's getting mad at me? Let's just say she stabbed him several times and leave it at that. Leave it at that? This is a murder case, people!
Mr. Wright, you should speak up if you have an objection, you know?
Yes, I know. The star has turned out to be as short-tempered as she looked when we met her. Challenging her abilities as a detective really set her off.
The short wick burns out the fastest. A scientific fact.
I wonder, wouldn't it depend on the size of the candle? I mean, add more wax and even a really short wick will burn longer.
Obviously, more scientific testing is required.
Blah, 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 blah. You say she stabbed him again and again, but you couldn't have witnessed that.
Are you testing me? Then I'll test you.
With my moss surprise. What? I'm afraid the moss is growing under our feet as we wait, Miss Star. What do you mean? I shouldn't have to explain this, but take a look. The autopsy report states that the death was due to loss of blood from one stab wound. Ah! Ha! You're right! Good show, Mr. Edgeworth.
What a hunk! He's my hero, really!
I'm the one that pointed it out! What about my objection? No one noticed? Well, witness...
The frick? You got the crime scene set, right?
Oh, thanks.
I always believed that no one could ever mistake ketchup for blood. But now, I realize that such mistakes are possible.
So, you're saying you mistook something for blood?
When she lifted her knife, I thought I saw blood at her breast. Spluttered blood from her victim. That's why I thought she must have stabbed him at least twice.
Then tell us what you saw that you thought was blood. Testify!
Her red muffler looked like blood to me. That's how ghastly the whole scene was.
Her red muffler? Her red muffler?
Yes, like a scarf. The chief prosecutor always wears one around her neck. So she can be easily hanged at a moment's notice, I suppose.
She's right. What? This guy was wearing a red scarf, wasn't she? But wait, isn't it odd that you mistook that for splattered blood? Well, people often mistake my beard for a bib. What? Who does that? Who mistakes your beard for a bib?
What kind of bibs do they have? A judge with a bib. Why this place feels so much like kindergarten sometimes.
Actually, I do think I saw some traces of blood on her chest.
However, the autopsy report is clear on this matter. There was only one knife wound.
Apparently, Miss Starr isn't entirely sure of her own testimony. Mr. Wright, this is our chance!
Chance for what, I wonder?
Miss Starr was turned out to be as short-tempered as she looked when we met her.
Blah 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 blah. To candle! Why is she not wearing her scarf in this? On the photo you took, she's not wearing a scarf. Miss Starr, I demand an explanation. The witness is clearly not suited for detective work.
What?
The suspect was not wearing a scarf or muffler of any kind when she stabbed the victim. And you've proved it yourself with this photograph.
Huh? But that can't be!
Only a professional lunch lady could be so utterly clueless. Congratulations. Perhaps you finally found your true calling in life. Harsh words, but good.
In the end, Mr. Edward prevails.
What was my objection? Chopped liver?
But it was there. Scar. No, not that. Something red. Really.
Well now, where were we? The witness has given us an entertaining interlude, but back to business.
What?
Very well, witness. Continue your testimony. You saw the crime and apprehended the suspect. Tell us about that.
Very well. I do remember some things accurately, at least.
Ultimately, we wouldn't shake the most important part of your testimony.
The most important part?
The part where your sister stabs the victim. This next testimony might just be the moment of truth. Apprehending the suspect.
After the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind a partridge off to the side. I quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. Ah, yes. When I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. And that's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. The chief prosecutor made me to escape, but against Angel Starr, resistance is futile.
Futile. Frick. Why can't I talk today? What the heck? You are quite determined about this scarf, aren't you?
I strike like a snake and bite like a cobra. That's me, Angel Starr.
That wasn't a very good metaphor. First of all, a cobra is a kind of snake.
Don't bother me with details unless you want to get bitten.
No thanks.
Note to self, Mr. Wright is weak against poisonous snake bites.
Everyone's weak against poisonous snake bites. What are you talking about?
The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum.
An oil drum? Hard to imagine.
Oh, she's beautiful, but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Rawr.
Very well, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination, if you will. Why did you roar? Rawr? Whatever that was? So, where is this Partian on the floor plans? I'm sure she means this wall next to the car. That's right. There was a wall there, about 6 feet high.
She was obviously trying to hide herself. Quite a natural thing for a criminal to do.
And what did you do then?
I quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot.
You say quickly. Were you close to the suspect?
As I just said, I was only 30 feet away from her the whole time.
Maybe I should press her for more details. Press her. Press. I'd like to see this on the floor plans, just to be safe. The lunch lane car was... She was a visitor, though she was parked in B block. So you witnessed the murder from here. That would make it about 30 feet from the car, yes. Is that correct, Miss Star?
Yes, that's right.
But there was a chain link fence in front of you.
I went over it, of course.
Amazing! The cough up Queen Lunch Lady athlete indeed!
It would have taken her a little time to climb over the fence, so she couldn't have gotten into my sister that fast.
Yeah, that fence was about 9 feet high too. So how did Miss Sky not get away?
Ah, yes, when I
Arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. She mentioned the muffler? What exactly did she say?
If I remember correctly, I would have told you in my testimony.
Cheeky.
Anyway, all I heard her say was the word muffler.
Just that one word? So, what you heard wasn't the suspect talking to you, but to someone else.
Yes, the chief prosecutor was talking on her phone.
Her phone? She can't mean... Ask further. By phone, do you mean this cell phone discovered at the crime scene?
Yes, ultimately.
Ultimately?
My memory. It's like a salmon heading upstream, you see.
No, the court doesn't see Miss Star.
The chief prosecutor first attempted to use the phone hanging on the wall.
On the wall? That's right. Near the car. There was an emergency phone on the wall.
Apparently, it was out of order.
And so she used her cell phone. Indeed, the emergency phone was out of order that day. Good witnessing, witness. What? Good witnessing? Whatever happened to good testifying? You should be, of course, add this to your testimony.
Things I do to please this rookie defense attorney.
Lana's cell phone updating the court record.
Saw it all as she tried the phone on the wall, but had to use her cell instead.
Do you think you could restate your testimony for the court? Aha! I was going to ask the same thing.
I'll only say this once more, so listen close, rookies. The chief prosecutor stabbed the victim and ran behind the Parthian. Then she picked up the emergency phone on the wall, but it was out of order. So she pulled her own cell phone out of her pocket. And during that time, you climbed over the chain link fence? Then, when I boldly grabbed her arm, the chief prosecutor hung up her phone.
And you saw her doing this?
What is it, Mr. Wright?
An escape against Angel Star resistance is futile. She made to escape? Can you be more specific?
She brushed aside my hand and ran. It was a terrible sight to see, like a dollop of lard on a pate of foie gras. What? Huh? She even kicked over an oil drum at me.
An oil drum? There was an oil drum lying on its side at the scene of the crime. But it's strange. What's that? If she wanted to escape, why didn't she run the other way? The parking lot entrance.
That's right. It doesn't make any sense that she would run from behind the Patreon to the oil drums. Excellent. More mysteries.
I wish we could solve a few before finding more, though. So Miss Sky tried to run.
I'm sorry my sister's so suspicious, Mr. Wright.
Not as sorry as I am.
But she didn't do it. You have to believe me.
Is that right? Your Honor, what do you think of... dang it! I wasn't right. That's not either. Wait. Okay, map. Found it! Okay. Miss Star, I have to conclude that you have a personal grudge against Miss Lana Sky.
The witness is a former detective. Her testimony is unmarred by personal bias.
Well, who wouldn't have thought you would be my knight in shining armor prosecutor? You, who together with the chief prosecutor, kicked me out 2 years ago.
Well, Miss Starr, this is a fatal contradiction with your testimony. How do you explain this?
I don't know what you're talking about. Mess with me, and I'll make you cough it all up.
Let's look at the floor plans. You said he witnessed the crime from this point. However, if that's true, you couldn't possibly have seen Miss Sky making that phone call. I believe you see what I'm getting at. The emergency phone was on the backside of this Partian. Even is that word? If indeed you were in B block, you couldn't have seen it.
What? Ah!
Order. Order! What is the meaning of this? It's simple, Your Honor. She's not coughing up lunch. She's coughing up lies. That's quite a claim, Mr. Wright. Perhaps you will allow me a question. Tell us exactly what lie this witness has told the court. Here's where the counterattack begins. We can't afford to get this wrong. The witness lied about what she saw. Where she saw it. Miss Sky tried to use the emergency phone, but it was out of order. What is significant about this fact? Nothing. Therefore, it would be pointless for Miss Starr to lie about it. Pointless to lie. I see. But say the witness did actually see Miss Sky using the emergency phone. It would mean Miss Starr witnessed the crime from a different location. A different location? Now that's a pointless lie if I ever heard one. Before you call my lie pointless, at least let me tell it. Let me ask a question to our clever wordsmith, Mr. Wright. Just where was the witness when she saw the crime? All the testimony we've heard until now points in one direction. The place for where Miss Starr witnessed the crime was here. Oh, where? Somewhere in these cars, probably. Because, okay, it definitely wasn't over here. She had to have seen over here, which means that she... about here. In the cars. I think. I mean, it's highly likely that's where she was.
You think?
It's highly likely.
Your cavalry? Your cavalry attitude stands in stark contrast to your feeble argument, Mr. Wright.
Her being there wouldn't change a thing. Please, Mr. Wright, think before you speak.
Fine.
Yes, Your Honor. Oh, I can't save here. Dang it. Let's try in the security room. This is the only place where she could have been. The security guard room? Indeed, the security room in the underground parking lot is well positioned. It's built on the second floor, so you can see the entire lot. She would have been able to see the emergency phone from there. But why there? There are many other places she could have seen the phone. Not in this case, Your Honor. The witness not being part of the prosecutor's office couldn't park in A block. The only place where she could have seen the crime in the back of the Partian is here. I remember in your testimony you said you brought a lunch to your boyfriend in the security guard room, yes? Well, Miss Starr?
How many years have I been getting the better of men? To think that the tables could be turned. Today a man has got the better of Angel Starr.
Order! Order! Witness! What have you done? You used to be a detective. You should know better.
I'm not turning back. The guilty will be punished. And I'll do what I must to make sure justice prevails.
The guilty? Is she talking about Miss Sky?
Mr. Wright, doesn't that strike you as odd? Why did Miss Starr lie? Doesn't make sense.
Huh?
She could have just said she saw the crime from the security guard station. It wouldn't change anything.
Exactly. This photograph tells all. It was the defendant who stabbed the victim.
But when did she take the photo? The truth still stands. When did she take the photo? It still stands? I disagree, Mr. Edgeworth.
What?
It was a witness is found to be lying. They're guilty of perjury. She knows this. She wouldn't risk that without good reason.
So tell us what her reason was, Mr. Wright.
Huh? Me?
Who else?
Mr. Wright, let's review what we know. What? Miss Starr witnessed this crime from the security guard station. But she lied and said she saw it from B block. It must make a vital difference. But what? What would change? Angle of view to the crime. Angle of view to the crime. Why, the angle at which she saw the crime occur would change.
The angle? What do you mean?
Well, the security guard station is on the second floor, and, she would have sort of a more 3D view of the crime.
This is important. Why?
Dang it, that was the wrong one?
Perhaps you'd like to reconsider, Mr. Wright.
Mr. Wright, let's review what we know. Yeah. Let me save before I be an idiot again. It changes the distance between her and the scene of the crime.
My condolences, Mr. Wright. But one look at the floor plans and it's quite clear. The distance between the scene of the crime and the guard station is 30 feet. I don't see how that would change what she could see.
What she saw is not in question here. What matters is the time it would take her to reach the scene of the crime. Miss Starr, you witnessed the crime from the security guard station. Now, how long did it take you to go from there to the scene of the crime where you arrested Miss Sky?
Well, witness...
Yes?
You ordered the squid wheels, right?
The quality of my lunches has gone from low to inedible. What's a squid wheel?
I was bringing a PB&J lunch with fresh boysenberry jam to my boyfriend.
Boysenberry for boyfriend.
He wasn't in the station, so I waited. I witnessed the crime from the glass-walled station. And before I knew what I was doing, I found myself running towards the scene. But the door was locked. I couldn't open it.
So how'd you get in there?
And that's why I had to go through the visitors' parking lot in B block.
That's quite a detour.
It's probably took me at least 5 minutes to get to the scene of the crime.
5 minutes?
This changes things considerably.
But it was that woman over there in the defendant's chair who stabbed him. I know it. I have photographic evidence. I swear it. I swear it on my finest plastic spork.
You have a point. And the spork is a wonderful invention. I can't imagine my life without sporks. Sporks are so amazing. They are both a fork and a spoon. If we never had sporks, I couldn't imagine a world that we live in. It would be a dystopian future.
Would you like another caviar lunch?
Absolutely!
Uh-oh.
Mr. Wright, you have to do something.
Do I have any evidence to stop this? Reason objection. 5 minutes between witnessing of the murder and the arrest. You can make pasta in that amount of time if you like it al dente. Al dente.
I've got lunchboxes that tie pasta into knots, rookie.
A 5-minute blank. Isn't that strange? Strange. If you were a criminal, what would you do with 5 minutes, Your Honor?
Well, I guess I'd flee the scene. Hey! Don't get the wrong idea. I didn't kill anyone.
But you had the instincts of a killer. You would run, but this time was different. Miss Sky dawdled at the scene of the crime. She even had her picture taken. No true criminal would act this way. It's inconceivable.
Well then, it seems we've come to the end of this testimony. The witness has a grudge against the defendant and a blank in her testimony. Mr. Edgeworth is the next witness ready to go. Unfortunately, I appear to have overestimated this witness on account of her professional history.
You did it! We screwed that can shut, Mr. Wright.
That was too close.
I'm afraid that the Cop-Up Queen has been dethroned. And with that, court is adjourned.
Hold it! Hold it. Who's yelling? Oh, are you yelling?
Mr. Edgeworth, your order is squid wheels, right?
That's the one she tried to hoist off me.
I prefer to not take the defense team's leftovers. Anything else to say?
I might be able to save you. I have decisive evidence.
What was that? Is this another one of her trick lunchboxes? My apologies, but we have no further questions to ask of you, Miss Star.
Is this your jumbo lunchbox?
Whoa! A triple-decker! I'm so hungry, even though I hate 2 caviars. Out of deference to the witness's determination, I'll allow one more testimony. Let's hear about this decisive evidence.
Like the Lunchland motto says, you won't be disappointed.
What's she going to pull out of her lunchbox this time? Decisive evidence.
I should have mentioned those 5 minutes when I was looking at the crime scene. And now, to the matter of the victim's shoe. Did I not bring this up? 2 types of blood were found on the shoe. One was, of course, the victim's. The other blood type matched that of the defendant, Miss Lana Sky. This shoe proves it. Flawless, decisive evidence.
What does it prove?
What? There was blood found on that shoe?
Try Lunchland for all your lunch and decisive evidence needs.
How is that relevant?
Witness, what's the meaning of this? Why is this the first time I've heard of this evidence?
Simple, as I've already said. I don't trust you with evidence, Mr. Edgeworth.
Why do you have her shoes? When you arrested her, did you take her shoes? Why did you take her shoes? What's the point of taking her shoes, especially since it's evidence? Did you just like them? Freaking shoe thief. Who steals shoes?
That's why I took the liberty of investigating this myself. And I stole some shoes while I was at it. They were quite pretty, even though they had bloodstains on them.
And you had blood test performed?
Didn't I mention? I have 3 boyfriends in forensics.
How many boyfriends do you have? Freaking shoe thief.
In any case, Your Honor, I can't accept this as evidence.
What?
You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. In other words, the shoe is illegal evidence, at least for the time being.
Is that right, Mr. Wright?
It seems so. Edgeworth sure is celebrating.
Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. Don't forget, I used to be a detective. As I mentioned previously, the shoe has already been tested by a member of the forensics department. As you can see, it was approved by the police department as of today. Even the general public can produce official evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. Is that right, Mr. Wright?
It seems so. Edgeworth is looking pretty sullen.
You could at least study some evidence law. Really?
The prosecution's complaints notwithstanding, it appears that this evidence satisfies the first rule of evidence law. However, it seems you have yet another count against you, witness.
Anything to ensure that the guilty are properly judged.
Victim's shoe added to the court record. Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness.
Gotta steal some shoes! Freaking shoe thief! I should have mentioned those 5 minutes.
Why did you lie about those 5 minutes?
I guess you could say I just want people to look at the results.
The results?
How many times do I have to say this? I saw the chief prosecutor stab the woman before my very own eyes. Compared to that, a 5-minute blank means nothing.
Then why didn't you just tell the truth?
Don't make me laugh. We're dealing with the most untrustworthy of the vile lot known as prosecutors. Falsified evidence, arranged testimonies, erasing and manipulating evidence. When you find monsters, you need to use every trick in the book.
This when the suspect is admitting she did it? But false testimony is the most despicable crime of all, Miss Starr. Let's just get this over with.
And now to the matter of the victim's shoe.
And you found the shoe at the scene of the crime? Or did you take it off her?
I detained the chief prosecutor and notified the police department. I wanted to make myself useful while I was waiting for the police to arrive.
Did you strip her?
So I stripped her of all her clothes and stole her shoes.
So like an ill-trained pooch, you snuck off with the shoe.
I was afraid someone would erase the chief prosecutor's crime. The shoe was my secret weapon if that should happen. See this fashionable basket I have here? It carries more than lunchbox, gentlemen.
I'm happy for you and your lunchbox bag, really. In any case, you removed valuable evidence from the scene of the crime. Now tell us what you did next.
2 types of blood were found in the shoe. One was, of course, the victim's.
So you brought it to the forensics department?
If you're going to submit something as evidence in court, you need it proved. To do that, evidence must be analyzed by a forensics expert.
And she got away with her little coup because she used to be a detective. The shoe does appear to have bloodstains on it.
Well, the man was stabbed after all.
And that blood belonged to the victim, Detective Goodman?
As I said, there were 2 blood types found on the shoe. The other blood type matched that defendant, Miss Lana Sky.
You can't say for sure the blood belonged to the defendant with a blood test.
You claim to know something about blood tests, Rookie.
Huh?
Well, speak up.
Well, blood comes in 4 types, A, B, O, and AB. However, you can't tell from a blood test whether a murder was committed in cold blood. That was a bad pun. Not just a figure of speech, Mr. Wright.
Actually, we can differentiate between millions of types with all the blood tests out there.
Why do you have so many vials in your bag?
Which means that we can get more or less narrow any sample of blood down to just one person. Or so I hear.
That's pretty specific.
If I had a little more time, I would have gotten DNA test results. But they said that's very little doubt. It could be anyone but Miss Lana Skies.
So the suspect's blood was found in the victim's shoe. That ties her directly to the death of Detective Goodman. I was afraid he was going to say that.
The shoe proves it. Flawless, decisive evidence.
I can't let this evidence go through without a fight.
Your order, the peppered fish guts, right?
Huh?
Some like it hot, Mr. Wright. Some like your client. She's in enough hot water to make a whole vat of soup. Mr. Wright, don't you have a problem with the shoe?
Problem? This is critical. Is there a problem with the victim's shoe?
What's the problem?
If I'm not imagining things, I'd say this is one critical problem with this evidence. A clear contradiction.
That gleam in your eyes. You're still young, Rookie. I'd give you a peppered fish gut now. But you couldn't take the heat, could you?
Let's hear what Mr. Wright has to say. What is contradictory about the victim's shoe? Show us the problem with this evidence. What? What is the problem? I can look in the shoe. Okay, there is nothing I can say about it, apparently. Yeah, the thing's not lighting up at all. Great. Problem with this evidence is here. Where? Take that finger and point it at your own head, Miss Wright. Oh, great. She's gonna be found guilty again. Blah, 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 blah. Wait a second. I need to investigate myself. Right, I haven't done that yet.
This blood. My sister's, right?
It appears so.
Laura's right hand was bandaged when I saw her in jail. She must have cut herself at the time of the crime. Poor sis. Ah! There's blood here too! On the sole of the shoe? It's gotta be the victim's. He must have stepped in a puddle of his own blood.
He must have stepped in a puddle of his own blood.
All this blood. It's horrible.
This blood might be an important clue. Victim's shoe. Show us the problem with the evidence. Why can't... There's gotta be something wrong with it. But for some reason I can't state anything. Ah, great. Is that it? Nope. I mean, I did check it. I looked at the clues that I was able to look at. Something else to look at, unless it's inside the shoe. There's gotta be something. What am I missing? What am I missing? This is irritating me. I don't understand. There's gotta be something with the shoe. There is a problem, but how do I prove it? Where does... Do I have to be on the blood spot like this? I wonder if you noticed. Oh! Wait! But why did it turn yellow? Usually when it... Oh, frick! I did have the answer the entire time, but I never pressed it. Because it never turned yellow. I thought... Oh, frick. I wonder if you notice. There's blood on the bottom of the shoe. Don't mess with me, rookie. Or it'll be your blood on the bottom of my shoe. Indeed, there is quite a bit of blood on the bottom of the shoe. It makes sense. The victim was stabbed with a knife. What could possibly be contradictory about blood on the bottom of the shoe? Because he was stabbed in his chest? No, I can't save him. I'm guessing your shoe has blood on it too. You just shot yourself in the foot. Would you like a grinder or a grind from the heel of my boot, Mr. Wright? Let's try this. Oh! Oh, that worked! The problem lies in the footprint. The footprint? Note that the bottom of the victim's shoe is covered in blood.
then isn't it strange? Why weren't any bloody footprints found by the scene of the crime? Aha! As you can see, there were no traces of any such footprints at the scene of the crime. That contradicts your claim about the shoe. This picture only shows part of the floor, so there could have been bloody footprints. Then where were they, Mr. Edgeworth? Because we checked the scene and found nothing of the sort. There was only blood in the trunk of your car. Order! 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 Well, witness?
What? Great going, Mr. Wright. But it's true that the lack of a footprint is a contradiction. But then we have to ask why there wasn't a footprint.
Oh, that's true. There has to be a reason why there wasn't a footprint.
Think, Mr. Wright, think!
Hey, I don't know why it's not there. I'm just good at finding contradictions.
What?
Hold it! I see. Now I get it. Great, get what? Our witness is more devious than I gave her credit for. We were hoodwinked to the very end. But she slipped. There was one vital hint to the truth in her testimony. Well, what are you talking about? Think back to when she told us about apprehending the suspect.
The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hand aside, kicked over an oil drum. Oh, she's beautiful but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Rawr!
I thought that was a strange thing for a normally cool-headed chief to do. No kidding. Now, witness, allow me to ask a very simple question. That oil drum, was it empty?
Oh, that, I'm not sure I like your attitude, Mr. Edward. Though apparently, you're not the slowest conveyor belt in the lunchbox factory.
Witness! Well, was the oil drum empty?
The oil drum kicked over by the chief prosecutor was brimming with water.
Water? What does that mean? Still don't get it, Mr. Wright. Do you want to know the reason she knocked it over? The real reason? Aha! You don't mean... Yes, the suspect knocked over that oil drum for one reason alone. To erase blood stains that would become evidence against her. Rah! That ties things up quite nicely. The blood stains left on the victim's shoe tie her quite clearly to this murder. Then, after the deed was done, she knocked over the oil drum to erase the telltale signs.
Why, that's a prosecutor's specialty. Erasing evidence.
That reminds me. Miss Skye's right hand was hurt. Didn't she say she cut herself when she stabbed him?
So that's when my sister's blood got on the shoe?
Well, I see no reason to prolong this trial.
Mr. Wright, do something, please!
What? What can I do? Your sister has confessed to the crime and she tried to conceal it.
But...
Enough. There is no reason for further debate. The verdict, Your Honor. Very well.
But Angel Star is on the prosecution stand. She could have been lying about the water.
The court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Skye. Hold it! Who's yelling? Why are you yelling again?
Little girl, what did you just say? Huh? Me? Did you just say that I, Angel Star, was on the prosecution's side? Well, yeah, you are. You're saying my sister hid evidence by erasing the bloody footprints. Well, I thought you had your fill, but here you're demanding a second helping. Another lunchbox. A lunchbox called evidence.
Wait. Witness, don't tell me you have something else. The time for deliberations is past. Any further comments and you will be held in contempt of court.
Your threats don't scare me. Scare the cough-up queen. Look at this.
photograph?
I had it just in case. Anyone had the gall to suggest. What the white shoe didn't belong to the victim.
I see no room for error in this evidence.
Mr. Wright, wait! Look at the asphalt in this photo!
Hey, it's clearly wet. What's in the muffler? Erasing the last trace of doubt from the court's mind. Immediately after the murder, the crime scene was washed with water.
I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I guess I couldn't help after all.
It's not your fault. I knew I couldn't win this case from the beginning. And it seems this is what your sister wanted anyway. I'm all alone in the deep, dark space. I'm sorry, Mia. Ah! Why do you keep doing that?
Right. Wet or not. Don't be so quick to throw in the towel.
Huh?
Get yourself up off the asphalt. Take another good look. Don't give up. Not until the bitter end.
This is the last piece of evidence. Very well. This time I'd like to declare a verdict for good. Your Honor, wait! What is it with you people? Can't I hand down my verdicts in peace anymore? No. Whatever it is, can it wait?
No, it can't! Then it would be too late.
Look at this photograph, the last one submitted. The trial isn't over until we give each other each piece of evidence proper consideration. So, Wright, are you sure there's a problem with this latest piece of evidence? Yeah, I'll think later. Yeah, there's a problem. Right or wrong, I've got to go ahead with this. I suppose since we've come this far, we should give every claim a fair shake. Very well, Mr. Wright. Show the court the problem in this photograph. Wait! Is this... The car's in a truck. Well, it's probably here, don't you think? As your elder, Mr. Wright, let me give you a piece of advice.
I believe he's trying to say that no one's falling for your bluffs, Mr. Wright. Open your eyes, Miss Wright. Think scientifically.
I suppose since we've come this far, we should give... Oh, okay, that's good. Thing in the muffler. The problem in this photograph is here. What's this? There's something poking out of the car's muffler. Wait just a moment, Mr. Edgeworth. Your Honor, you just said muffler. However, I see no trace of a muffler or scarf of any kind in this photograph.
But muffler is also like the exhaust part of a car! Why is this judge an idiot?
A muffler is also part of a car or motorcycle, Your Honor. Just think of it as part of an exhaust system, a pipe. I see, and I see. I never even heard anyone call a scarf a muffler. What's the suspicious-looking cloth sticking out of the car's muffler?
So what if there's something sticking out of the muffler? What does that have to do with this case? Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Sorry, Miss Starr, but it's not going to be that easy. In fact, you've already told us why this is important to the case. You said as much in your testimony.
What?
Let's hear what Mr. Wright has on his mind. Tell us what you think this piece of cloth and the muffler is related in this case.
The muffler over during your call.
Miss Starr, recall your testimony for the court.
Yes. When I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony.
Muffler? Could it be that the muffler you heard mentioned was actually this exhaust pipe?
If so, that means this piece of cloth is vital evidence. Oh, ah!
Well, it seems we will have to suspend the proceedings.
Suspend.
I find myself wondering about that piece of cloth. If we leave any question unanswered here, we do a disservice to the law. Have the car at the crime scene inspected at once and bring me that cloth. The verdict will wait until after we've seen all the evidence. Agreed?
I suppose so. That was close, but we made it. At least for now.
This court will adjourn for a 30-minute recess. It's lunchtime after all.
You still hungry? You just ate like 2 boxes of caviar. How are you still hungry?
Speaking of which, I'm hungry.